up, everybody? Here again, it's in the DA. All right, check this out. So November is upon us, and you know, because we've been talking about it on this channel, we have a couple of films that are coming up starring two of the most beloved leading ladies in Hollywood at the current moment. Obviously, Rachel Zegler and Brie Larson. Let's talk about this one first. Hunger Games, Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. We got some news on it. It looks like they've been given a SAG-AFTRA interim agreement, which means they can go out there and promote the film. So we get to hear from Rachel Zegler, along with these other guys that are in the film, talking about this movie, promoting it. Now, what can possibly go wrong with Rachel Zegler promoting a film?
I was scared of the original cartoon. I think I watched it once and then I never picked it up again. I mean, you know, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her. Yeah. Weird. And then I went on the ride in Disney World, which was called Snow White's Scary Adventures. Doesn't sound like something a little kid would like. Was terrified of it. Never revisited Snow White again. I just mean that it's no longer 1937, and we absolutely wrote a Snow White that is
not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be, and the leader that her late father told her that she could be if she was fearless, fair, brave, and true. He came to reimagining the actual role of Snow White. It became about the fairest of them all, meaning who is the most just and who can become a fantastic leader.
What could possibly go wrong? Yeah, that's what this guy says in this tweet. Rachel Zegler promoting a movie. And this guy, The Wiz, maybe not have Zegler promoting the film. Not that I think this film is going to do well anyway. Yeah, I don't think this is going to do well either. As a matter of fact, yeah, on CBR, The Hunger Games, Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes tracking for a disappointing box office opening. Yeah, we've already seen that. We covered that on a previous video. I'll link that above. Yeah, nobody's really checking for this. I'm not sure how many people were really asking for this film to begin with. But we do have some additional information that'll tell us whether or not they're going to break even. So first of all, Deadline reported on Thursday that it's tracking for a $50 million start, which is actually up from the Box Office Pro projection of $35 to $45 million. So that's actually good news for this film if anybody cares about it. But you can see how it's compared to the other films. $152 million for the original Hunger Games back in 2012. Catching Fire opened up to $158 million. And the final two films, Mockingjay Part 1 and Part 2, opened with $121 million and $102 million respectively. Yeah, but here we got some new information. The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, which was made for approximately $100 million, is a prequel to the beloved franchise, so on and so forth. Okay, so we have a number for the budget, $100 million. So obviously, that's a good number for Lionsgate because I don't think this film is going to make a lot of money anyway. So they kept it at least at $100 million. They didn't go crazy, $150, $200 million like Disney has been doing. They kept it relatively cheap. And now the question is, how much did they spend on the marketing? Did they go ham on the marketing? So far, I haven't seen a lot. You know, they have a couple of trailers that they made out there. Haven't seen a whole lot of billboards. Haven't seen a whole lot of ads on television or on YouTube or little spots and cuts and all of that kind of stuff. That's all the crap that goes into marketing. Haven't seen a lot of that. So maybe they're going to keep the marketing budget relatively low as well. Let's say they spent $50 million. Usually half of the budget is about what they spend on marketing anyway. And sometimes in these bigger Disney projects, they go way above that. But half the budget would be $50 million. So that would be a total spend of $150 million. And in order for them to get their money back, they have to double that roughly. So we're talking about at least needing $300 million to break even again, if that's what they spent. These numbers are still preliminary because they're saying approximately. That could be a little bit higher. That could be a little bit lower. Who knows? And we still don't know what they're spending on the marketing. But just a rule of thumb, half the budget on the marketing, you're looking at about a $300 million break even number. So that's good if that's what it is. I don't know if it'll actually get to that number. Yeah, going back to these other Hunger Games films, the original Hunger Games actually did better domestically than it did internationally. You can see it's close to a 60-40 split, domestic to international. But then when you come to the final film, Mockingjay Part 2, yeah, it's almost the flip reverse, right? Less on the domestic side, more on the international side. So how many people are really coming to check for this internationally? I don't know. It's hard to say, it's hard to read because it's not like a lot of people were asking for this film, Songbirds and Snakes, to get made in the first place. So we'll find out what's up with that. So let's move on to the Marvels. And yeah, this one's hilarious. Yeah, so here we go. The first official clip from the Marvels in theater, November 10, discussing film, posted this on Twitter. And listen, I'm not going to play the song because I'm going to get bit, but look. You want to put your best foot forward anytime you're dropping your first official clip. This is the first clip from the Marvels. This is what we're talking about in terms of what Disney is offering us for this film. There's nothing in this at all that gets you excited. Look at this. The action just looks cheesy as hell. You know, the special effects just... I don't understand what decisions were made when it came to making this thing. You know, you got Miss Marvel. You got the powers being switched off, I guess. They're popping in and out. I don't know who was in this area or whatever, but you're getting an idea. Okay, they're jumping in and out of different areas. Oh yeah, then Nick Fury pops up in this thing, you know, cracking a joke as he's sitting in the chair as all of this chaos is going on around him. And I guess it's supposed to be played for laughs. I mean, this thing was just absolutely cringy to watch. I don't understand why Marvel is making the decisions that they're making, but it's clear that if this is the best clip, you put your best foot forward. Anytime you want to say, hey, first clip, we're putting the best thing that we got out. Come on, check it out in theaters. This is the best that they got. And, you know, not the very best clip, I'm sure, from the film, but the best thing that they can offer us right now, other than a trailer, to whet our appetite to get us to come and watch this joint. And man, and I'm just like, man, I can't believe I'm going to have to go and sit through an hour and a half of this. Thank God it's only an hour and a half, right? Yeah, you know, Miss Marvel with this, that's just a kooky power. It's just terrible, man. The special effects don't look that hot. Now, listen, I'm going to say this again, because I've said this several times. I give everything a fair shot. I'm not going to come in this thing just straight up hating. I'm going to come into this film with an open mind. And so when you watch my Out of the Theater review, you are going to hear my real opinions. If I like it, I'll like it. If I say, hey, man, this is actually good, you should go and check it out, I will say that. Do I anticipate saying that? Hell no, I don't anticipate saying that. Just from everything that we've seen, just from the information that Marvel is putting out there, the fact that they got this film embargoed until 2 days before release. So you can't say anything about this film on social media until the 7th of November. And then you can't drop a review until the 8th of November. And then the movie comes out on the 9th. That tells me everything I need to know. Sorry if my anticipation levels are a bit low. That actually might work in its favor because my anticipation levels and what I'm expecting is so low for this film that if they do anything good, it actually might surprise me. And I'm like, oh yeah, okay, they did a couple of things right. Yeah, but that's where we're at with the Marvels and, of course, the Hunger Games. It's looking like the middle of November is going to be very, very interesting. I'm curious about Five Nights at Freddy. Five Nights at Freddy absolutely destroyed the box office this weekend. Yeah, you can see the box office totals. They increased the domestic total up to $80 million. So that's what it did over the weekend. And then the worldwide total up to $132 million. I'm curious as to what the legs on this thing is going to be. Is it going to have enough legs to carry it all the way through to the week that the Marvels comes out? You know, the Marvels comes out in a couple of weeks. How will Five Nights at Freddy's do? Will it continue to actually pull kids in? Because, you know, it's on Peacock. So it's like, okay, we went and saw it in theaters. We saw it for Halloween. Great. All right, let's go and check it out at home. Or will they actually show up in theaters again next weekend and the following weekend and the following weekend and just fill that thing up? I'm really interested to watch what Five Nights at Freddy's has to offer for the Marvels and Hunger Games. It's going to be really interesting to watch. But you guys let me know what you think. Jump down in the comments. Give me your thoughts and opinions on that. Thanks for watching. See you next time.